Hi everyone, welcome to Module 8. We get to start Java. Okay, so in Zybooks when we're working in Module 8, normally what you're doing is doing little snippets of code here and there. We go through some programming basics, and you have the basics because you've done Coral. So now we're just going to apply those same basic items to Java. Okay. In our course, somewhere in announcements, there will be instructions on how to get to a virtual desktop machine. So what we're going to use to do Java, to write Java, is something called JGrasp. And then later on, we'll use Argo. You don't need to install that software if you don't want to mess with your computer. You can use this virtual desktop. Inside here is a video, and it shows you instructions on how to use that virtual desktop. And then down here is where you're going to get to it. So there's some instructions there. You just download that page down to number 7, click on the link, and then you'll get your virtual desktop, and then you can use JGrasp and Argo or whatever software you need for this. So my suggestion is always to practice your Java outside of Zybooks. That's the way you become a good Java programmer. Okay, so you can use that virtual desktop to use the software, or if you have it, just pull it up. And here I'm going to go into JGrasp. What you're going to see here is not this. You're going to see a blank screen everywhere. Now I have a lot of stuff going on because I've been doing this for a long time. So over here in this section of JGrasp is your file folder system. I'm going to make it bigger so you can see this better. Control plus will make my screen bigger, right? So this is like your file folder management system here. And yours will be blank when you pull up JGrasp to start with. But what I recommend is, okay, if you're going to practice Java, make a file. Keep a good system of folders. So create a folder and say this is Java day 1, or whatever you want to call it. You know, I actually have a folder called that. Okay. Yeah, and then you can start writing your programs. Let me do a different one. Java. Just call it Java code. Oh, what happened there? Let me go back. You can go up in your file folder system. I always use the downloads area, and then I delete stuff from there. So, okay. Again, Java already exists. So, okay. First code in Java, something like that. Okay. So then I created a folder right there. Hover over that, and then I'm going to pull that up. And then you have a blank screen here. And then I'm going to write my Java here. This is my console. Well, my output's going to be displayed. And so let's start. First thing I want to do is go File, New, Java. And in real life, Zybooks won't teach you this. I mean, they teach you that you should be writing comments. But in real life, every single program that you ever write will start with a comment section. So we do that again with double slashes. Notice in JGrasp that there is some color coding here. If you can see color, and you can change that using the edit tool settings, colors. You can make JGrasp whatever colors you want. I use orange, green, purple, and black. But you can change that in the settings. And when you see orange, this is my first program, is a description for whatever your program's going to do, and then we always write our name and date. In real life, this is what we do, okay? I just want to give you some pointers about that. Okay. So there's my comment section of my Java program, okay? In Java, every single thing that you do is in a class. So you start out with these words: public, class. This is my first program. Notice these are purple. Those are keywords in Java. And you'll understand what these words mean later. Just know for now, you got to practice writing that over and over. I'm going to call this class, since everything in Java is inside a class, first program. You make it unique to your program, and then you have to open it up. It's a structure with a curly brace, and then close it. I'm going to put a comment here. This is my end class. So then when I hover over these braces, the structure, you can see that those two are matching. I always put, when I open one up, I close it immediately because otherwise you'll forget and then you'll have syntax errors. Okay, then your main header, you indent public static void main. Inside here, I'm going to code it and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so this is a structure. It's a main method. Open that structure up, close it. This is my end main. So this is kind of like your template for all procedural Java programs. You have your program's name. It must start with a class name. And we must start with a capital letter. All classes in Java start with a capital letter. And then every Java program starts with a main method. I know this is a method because it has parentheses after it. This is very common what goes in here. String, this is an array symbol, and these are args. Now, args is an object name, but it's like a variable name. Must start with a small letter and be camel case. You don't have to call that args, but that's standard in Java. You can call it obs, you can call it whatever you want. It's like a variable. Okay. Then we save that file, save as. Must be the exact same name of your class. See, it's program. So this case, it automatically popped up for me, but if it didn't, I usually just copy and paste that in there. You don't have to put the .java in there. It will automatically do that for you. It's a Java file. You save it. Here you can see over here I have my code. Now I can compile this with the plus sign. That'll compile, and then running person will run it and compile it. So if I do that, my program's not doing anything yet, so it's not printing anything down here. So let's write our first print statement. Okay. System.out.println. I'll put my name in there. You put your name or whatever you want. This is a string literal. You notice it's in green with a semicolon at the end. Now my program's going to do something. It just printed my name. So in Java, I know this is weird. In Coral, we used a put statement. In Java, we use something called a system.out.println. System.out.println. Sometimes you'll hear people say SOP for short. System.out.println, or I could do system.out.print my first program. You could also do it that way as well. So when I run this, and I'm going to shorten this up a little bit so you can see, here's my program. If I compile, it's not going to run anything. It's going to tell me if I have any syntax errors, and I don't see any down here. Let me make this smaller. Oops, put this in here. And then run it. And there you can see my output. So it printed this, and it printed that with a period in it. So the put statement in Coral turns into system.out.println and system.out.print. So what's the difference? Okay. The difference is when you see print ln line, it will do a carriage return once this is done. If I did this print, watch what happens. It prints it all on one line. So when you put the ln after something, after this print up here, it does a carriage return at the end of your string, literal. ln is what that is. So there you have it. There's your first program that shows you how to print statements.